Hi friends, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Thank you so much for coming back if you've been here before. Today we are going to be doing a pick a card reading, and this is going to be breaking the cycle. And this is what generational trauma, generational curses, generational just inheritance are you breaking free from? And of course, we're talking about the things that are not helping you at this time. So we have three options. Option number one is going to be the Judgment card with Goddess Athena. Option number two is the Eight of Swords with Medusa. And option number three is the Moon card with Goddess Selene on it. So pause the video if you need to ask yourself which pile or maybe piles have a message for you, and let's talk about what you can expect in this reading. All right, so we are going to talk about the spread, exactly what we're going to be looking at during this reading. And we're going to start by looking at your current energy. That is a way that I like to, one, just check in with where you are today, but also give you information that is going to help determine if this is the right pile for you or if maybe you should try a different pile. Then we're going to get into what the root is. So what's the core wound or trauma that is being passed down? We're going to go into the pattern. So how is this repeated across generations? We will then go into the inheritance. How are you personally experiencing or carrying this? We will move into your soul contract, which is what role are you playing in healing whatever this root cause determined to be. Then we're going to talk about the catalyst. What is the momentum, the realization, or the energy that's pushing you to break the pattern at this time? We're going to go into inner work, which is the healing or growth that you are doing or that you can do in order to assist in the breaking of this cycle. And we are going to look at the legacy of healing. So once you are changing, this change that you are creating, how is that going to help you and generations going forward? And then we are going to end it with a message from your ancestor. So we are going to get a message from one of your ancestors in regards to whatever it is that you are dealing with, whatever it is that's coming up for you at this time. So if this sounds like something you are interested in, if this sounds like something that would be helpful to you, stick around. If this is where you leave me, I hope you have a wonderful week and I hope to see you soon. Let's get started. Hello, pile number one. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the Judgment card with Athena. I'm going to place that right over there. As a reminder, this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. I also did do a reading breakdown, which is going to give you the outline that this reading will follow. I highly suggest that you check that out. That way you know if this is a right fit for you. And we are going to get started by looking at your current energy. This is meant to do a quick check-in with who you are, where you're at right now, but it's also meant to help you determine if this is the right pile for you. So if this portion of the reading does not resonate with you, try choosing a different pile, or it could just be that this specific reading doesn't have a message for you, which is okay. But let's get started. So current energy for you, pile number one. Okay, we have the whale. We have connected, and absolutely with the whale being there, yes, that's the vibe. And wow, wisdom. Okay, so pile number one. Very interesting. Part of your reading is the Judgment card, is the Athena card. And I want to make a note. Usually when I lay out the cards, I do the, I pick the object, the card, the sticker, whatever it is that's going to be the option. At the end, I lay out the cards first, and then I kind of go in and intuitively allow myself to pick the card. It took me over 2 hours to pick the right cards. Nothing felt right. This Judgment card was not going to be the option for pile number one. So it especially feels like for this pile, Athena wanted to come out and communicate with this pile. And when we talk about the goddess Athena, we are talking about a Greek goddess of, well, the Greek goddess of wisdom, battle strategy, reason. And what's also interesting is that Athena was the one that turned Medusa's hair into snakes. And Medusa is making an appearance in this reading, as you probably saw in the intro and as you probably saw in the thumbnail. So, very interesting. We're going to see what other messages Athena may have for you. But for some of you, Athena could be a goddess that you either work with or you are called to work with at this time. But let's talk about current energy because we have quite a bit of info here. So, with the whale card being here, water is heavily represented. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We also have some earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And we have some air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. That being said, take that as extra confirmation. You don't have to be one of those signs in order for this pile to resonate for you. But where you are currently at this point in time, pile number one, I would say you are placing a lot of stock and a lot of value on connection at this time. And while I do think it could be connection to others and relationships and your connection to others, I think the main connection that you are watering, that you are investing in at this time, is the connection that you have with yourself. Because I also think that you are in a place where you are doing spiritual work, and spirituality is a main component of your life and a main part of your everyday life. With the whale being here, you are really processing a lot of things, and you are someone that can go quite deep when it comes to emotions, compassion, when it comes to empathy. But I think, especially at this time, you're in a place where you are really plugged in to spirit, plugged into oneness consciousness, and plugged into your own higher self, to your own intuition. And I think pile number one, right now you could be going through a point in time where there are a lot of memories coming up, a lot of emotions coming up, a lot of realizations coming up, a lot of intuition as well. Like you may be getting a lot of downloads, a lot of intuitive hints at this time where a lot of information is being communicated to you. I also think for this group, it's quite possible that you are actively doing ancestral work and that you are actively seeking out this type of reading, this type of work where you are focused on, generationally speaking, how can I break free from certain patterns? Generationally speaking, how can I do something different for future generations? For some of you, it could be that you've felt that you don't fit in or that you are not understood by people in your family, or by the people that you are connected to, that by the people that are surrounding you. And one thing, pile number one, is that you are somebody who's very wise. You are somebody who is very strong and very courageous. And I think that you are using all of your gifts. I would say this is a pile where you could have more than one spiritual gift, whether it's clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, mediumship, psychic gifts. There's a lot of gifts here, different things for different people, but definitely at least one gift. But I think for most of you, you have two or more gifts that you are using at this time. And I also think that you have a strong connection to the divine feminine. For some of you, it may be goddess Athena that is calling to you. For others of you, it's just you connecting to the divine feminine and really delving deeper into that relationship that you have with the divine feminine. But I do feel like for most of you, there may be kind of a calling to connect to something higher, to something bigger than yourself. And for some of you, it's going to be like deity work, goddess work, or it could be like working with angels or the divine feminine, the universe as a whole. And pile number one thing that I want to say for this group is I think you are someone who has been through a lot of difficult experiences, a lot of heavy experiences. And I think that one thing that's coming up in your current energy is that even if things feel confusing, even if things are not super clear at this point in time, one thing that is true for my pile number ones is that you do not lose faith. You do not lose faith in the divine. You do not lose faith in yourself. Like, you are someone who's going to keep going and keep pushing. For some of you, I actually want to mention this. This wasn't a part of the plan to mention like careers, but I think for some of you, you could be in helping careers like teaching, therapy, counseling, medicine, something along those lines. And one thing that's coming through is making sure that you are taking care of yourself, especially if things feel especially heavy at this time or there's just a lot coming up for you. For some of you, you are doing shadow work at this time. And I think that you are somebody who is actively working on dismantling old beliefs, old stories, narratives. And I also think that you are someone who has a very good mix, a very good blend between the mental and the emotional spheres. And what you are trying to figure out now is how to allow those two aspects of yourself to work together in order to get to the next step of your journey. But pile number one, you are absolutely connected at this time. You are absolutely plugged in. For some of you, Gaia, Mother Earth, is also an energy that you work with. And right now, you could also be experiencing a lot of synchronicity in the form of animals. Like, I'm seeing like animals that you may typically not notice, or like animals may be coming up like to your home, or you may notice them like following your car almost, or you may notice them like just kind of being around, especially if there is one animal that is sticking out more than others. Pay attention to that. I think for some of you, it could be like a hawk, an eagle, crow. It feels like a winged animal, like somebody who flies, right? Somebody who has wings. And I think this animal is a protector, but also a guide for you at this time. And another thing that's coming through here is if you are going through a dark night of the soul, if things feel especially heavy, just know that they are going to become a bit lighter. Things are going to resolve, or there's going to be more answers that come in, probably sooner than what you'd expect, or sooner than what you're thinking. I think there's going to be answers, there's going to be clarity coming in your way. Let's jump into the root, right? What core wound or trauma is being passed down? What's the thing that you are breaking the cycle on? And we are going to use the light seers for this portion. Page of Wands, Nine of Wands. Let's see what the other one is. And Hierophant. Okay. I'm seeing the picture, pile number one. I'm seeing the picture. It's coming together. So, pile number one. When we talk about the core wound, the trauma, the beliefs, however you want to word this, however this picture is going to come together for you, that's being passed down, I think there's a few things, but I think overall the energy is the same. For this group specifically, there are stories, there are belief systems, there are just narratives that are very limiting and that bring this energy of responsibility, heaviness, and almost this idea that life has to be hard, that life is not easy, that life is not necessarily enjoyable, that you have to work extremely hard for everything in your life. And while that can be very true, I think that is also limiting my pile number ones in the sense of I almost feel like for this pile, if something were to show up in your life, a blessing, a gift, just something that you is either being given to you or you have earned or something that doesn't feel super difficult, I almost feel like this pile would be so distrusting of that you wouldn't even entertain the idea. And I also think that there's a level of distrust when it comes to other people and even yourselves to some degree, where it's I'm holding on to the old stories, and part of that old story that I'm holding on to, and this is what's being passed down. Part of that old story that we hold on to, that we pass down generation to generation, is the idea that life is hard, that life is difficult, that life is not meant to be enjoyed, that good things don't happen to good people, that good things don't really happen, and that we have to try extra hard, and we have to always be the ones to make things happen. We can't count on other people, we can't rely on other people. We have to have boundaries, we have to approach life in such a specific way that it almost feels like it sucks the fun out of life and it sucks the lightheartedness of life, right? And we also have that page of wands here, because when we talk about that page of wands, typically what we are talking about is creativity and passion and excitement and enthusiasm. But the limiting belief here is that those things are not necessarily something that should be encouraged. That those things, right, when we talk about passion, creativity, when we talk about just exploration and adventure and spontaneity, it's almost like in your generational line, there is a belief that those things are not to be appreciated, those things are not to be trusted. There is almost a level of just anytime I try something new, or anytime I get excited about something, it's going to be taken away from me. I'm waiting for that other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for the heaviness of life to take over. I'm waiting for the obstacles to come in and get in the way. So it's almost this idea or this belief that if I get excited about something, it's going to be taken from me, or it's not going to work in the way that I think it's going to work, or it's not going to be something good, right? So it's almost like, let's keep our head down, let's work hard, and let's focus on the responsibilities. And even when we are tired, even when we are exhausted, we have to push through. We have to keep going. And I just want to acknowledge there are times and places where this type of energy is absolutely going to be helpful, but this can't be all that there is. And I think here for this group, there is almost an unhealthy level of this, which is why I think this is coming through, where it's we have to put hard work and responsibility above everything else. Creativity, passion, fun, excitement cannot really coexist with how much responsibility we have to place on ourselves and our day-to-day life. And I think a big thing that is being passed down through your generation, especially for this group, is almost this idea of I have to reach the top. I have to be the best that I can be, whatever it takes. And even if it's not something that I necessarily care about, for some, this is absolutely speaking to accomplishing something that isn't even in alignment with your heart's desires, right? And again, this is the energy that is being passed down. So it's some level of this thinking that is being passed down from generation to generation. And I want to see how this is being repeated across different generations. So let's take a look here. The Six of Cups, the Five of Pentacles. I'm not surprised to see this card here. And the Six of Wands. Yep. So that Six of Wands, right? Success, having to be seen, being successful, accomplishing something. So this feels like, how is this presenting across different generations? The idea that we have to do great things. That this is almost kind of, I'm going to use an example here where this could be like, we have a family of doctors and we all have to go to school and become doctors or lawyers or whatever it is, or we have a family business and we have to all meet this expectation, and we all have to meet this status that has been set before us. And it doesn't matter if this isn't something that is in alignment with your soul. It doesn't matter if this isn't something that you like or that you would enjoy for yourself. This is about, accomplishing these goals and these things that maybe aren't even what the person themselves want. It's the expectation. And I almost get, for some, it could even show up in relationships of, you need to be in a relationship with a specific type of person, or with a person that has achieved certain things, or with a person that checks off the boxes on a paper, on a list, right? So across generations, this is really showing up by speaking to just success, but not necessarily success that is measured by the individual, but success that is being measured by the generations and the expectations. So even if I don't like this, even if I don't align with this, even if this isn't what makes me happy, or this isn't my idea of success and my idea of happiness, there's almost this pressure here that this is what we have to do, this is what we have to push forward with, and this is what we have to accomplish. And this is coming from a place of, with this Five of Pentacles being here, this is absolutely coming from a place of fear. This is coming from a place of scarcity mindset, of fear that, what are people going to think? How are people going to receive us? What if we don't go for this and we don't accomplish this? Are we going to be okay? At the root cause of this, right? There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of, also, I think to some degree, how are other people going to see us? How are other people going to relate to us? And how are we going to be received? Almost a fear of judgment here coming through. And I think a big driver for this, right, generationally speaking, has been making sure that we have enough. And this could be that in your generation at some point somebody was really struggling, and they almost took on this mentality of, the most important thing is to have this type of security. And I think for a lot of you, there's a level of finances, comfort, security, and stability that is at the core of however this is playing out in your life, right? Because it's going to play out in different ways for different people. For some of you, it's, again, the example with like the type of career or the business or what we have to accomplish. For others, it could be the type of relationship or the type of person that I allow myself to enter into relationships with. That's how this is playing out across different generations, and it's getting kind of perpetrated and passed forward from generation to generation, where it's growing in the sense of, I think the fear itself is also expanding here, or like the expectation, it's like snowballing into something bigger with each generation. Because I also think each generation is carrying a heaviness with this that feels very overwhelming. I would absolutely say, for you, pile number one, like it feels like every single generation is adding to the heaviness of this. Let's talk about the inheritance, right? So how do you personally experience or carry this? For you personally, how is this showing up? The Eight of Pentacles. Two of Swords. The Magician. Okay. Pile number one, when it comes to you personally, how this is showing up in your life, first and foremost, some of you are dealing with perfectionism. Imposter syndrome could be one of them. I'm also getting a little bit of procrastination, though I do think pile number one, you are very good at making sure it gets done on time. Like, even if you procrastinate at the 11th hour, you will get it done and you're going to get it done exceptionally well. But we have the Eight of Pentacles to start this off. Like, that's the first card that we saw come up here. And this Eight of Pentacles speaks to trying to be a master, right? And this is where that perfectionism is coming in at. I have to be perfect. I have to perfect this thing. I have to be the best that I can be. And I have to invest body, mind, and spirit. I have to give my all to this thing, whatever the expectation is, but also the things that you believe you have to be good at. For some of you, pile number one, you could be like the oldest sibling in the family. You could be the person that takes on a lot of responsibility. But it feels like across your generations, but also across your family line, there's this level of responsibility. We have to do the thing. We have to take our time. We have to continue and push forward and work hard and all these responsibilities. And I talked about the distrust earlier, right, in the reading, but we have that Two of Swords here. And I think that this Two of Swords is speaking to two different types of things. I think there is a level of, if I want something done correctly, I have to do it myself. I have to be the one to take this on. I have to be the one to make things happen. This almost feels like, even if you are in a position, like let's say that you have a business or you are in a position where you are a people manager and you have people that work for you, this almost feels like you're still doing most of the work because delegating feels like it's not going to get done correctly. There's almost like this criticism, this I have to get it done right and I can't trust anyone else to get it done for some of you. For others of you, this is also speaking to almost analysis paralysis of, I am so afraid that I'm not going to get something right. I am so afraid that I am going to mess something up, that I am just at a crossroads and stuck. That it's very hard for me to make choices that are in alignment with myself. Not because I'm not tuned in, because pile number one, you are absolutely tuned into your intuition. But I almost feel like this is a group where you can see every possible outcome, where there may be a level of overthinking, where there may be a level of just like, what could possibly go wrong that is always happening. This could be anxiety as well that's coming in here, that keeps you in a place where it's almost like, I know what I should do. I don't know if I should. I should do this. I should go and do this, but I'm holding myself back. There's a big push and pull energy that's coming in here. And this is playing out in your day-to-day life. You are carrying this personally in a way, because there's 2 points to this. This generational cycle, trauma, part of it makes you unstoppable because you are somebody who knows how to work very hard and you know how to create and you know how to, you're very determined. You know how to persevere. You know how to make it work. You know how to make it happen through hard work and hard effort. You are not going to give up. You are going to see it all the way through. On the other hand, there's almost this level of just fear or self-doubt that also creeps in, because this is like two sides of the same coin, right? That is almost immobilizing you and getting in the way of you manifesting something that you truly want. Now, this is a general reading, so it's going to look different for different people, but for some of you, this is showing up in a way that it's, I know what my heart wants, I know what I want to do, but maybe my parents or my grandparents or my family would not be accepting of this. So I'm going to continue to do what is expected of me. And for others, it could be maybe I've convinced myself that this is what's right for me, that even though I know deep down I'm not happy or I'm not thriving, that this isn't exactly right for me, I'm still holding myself back out of that expectation. And the thing is, pile number one, you are the magician. You have the resources at your disposal. You can create whatever it is that you want. You can create what is meant for you. But also, are you allowing yourself to? Or are you seeing your gifts and your ability to create what you want? This is going to play out for different people. It's going to be different things, but I'm almost seeing one is the responsibility, the weight of the responsibility of what is expected of me. And for others, it's like almost this crippling self-doubt because I've convinced myself that I am not enough in some way, that I have to be more perfect, that I have to really hone in more to my gifts, that I have to keep trying. And there's even a third angle here, which is the angle of if I try this and it's not meant for me, because sometimes I just don't believe good things can happen for me. I believe life has to be hard. Then what is going to happen if I fail at this? Let's keep going into your soul contract. What role are you playing in this healing? Let's see what this is here. Three of Swords. Wow, Eight of Pentacles twice. I love it when that happens. It's like, this is your card, this is the energy, this is the vibe, so here we go. Six of Wands again. Okay. So, pile number one. What role are you playing in this healing? You are the one, first and foremost, I think you are the one having the courage to identify that something is not exactly right. I think you are the one that is also feeling the effects of, I am struggling with this, my heart is broken, I can't keep going this way. There's almost this point that you either reached or are about to reach where it's, this cannot keep going the way that it's going because I'm not happy and this is not okay. I think you are the person who has the wisdom to identify in the ways that this isn't working and in the ways that this just isn't right and it's not supposed to be this way. And I think you are the one that has not only the desire, but the determination to do something different and to see it all the way through. Because I don't think that it's other people haven't wanted to break free from this. I think it's almost like a comfort level of it's easier to stay in this. And if I had to bet, pile number one, you're the one that's going to be successful at breaking this. And I think to some degree, whenever you find this video, whenever you're watching this, you've already started to break it and you are already making a lot of progress. But part of this is you have the curiosity and you are questioning this and you are realizing this cannot go the way that it's been going, and you have the guts to do something different, to step out of that comfort zone, to step out of that expectation, even though it's scary, even though it's a lot. Because I do think that pile number one, there's a lot that you're dealing with in order to do this work, in order to get to where you want to be. And you're also the one that has determined that this is not what I want. This isn't my heart's desires. This isn't what's in alignment for me. And there are times where we have to be team players, where we have to think about other people, but at the same time, we also have to think of ourselves. And I think pile number one, you are someone that does a phenomenal job at trying to balance all of that and trying to hold space for yourself, for other people, and for your fears, for what is coming up for other people. And I think in many ways, your family, the people that are around you, right? The people that are in this cycle with you, admire you and recognize how much change you are bringing, even though I do think some people are really not liking it and some people may be giving you a hard time. I think even if they're not saying it, there's a level of respect here. Let's look at the catalyst, the momentum, the realization, or the energy pushing you to break the pattern. Let's see what this catalyst is. The Wheel of Fortune. Page of Wands. Very interesting. We had the Page of Wands over there as well. Pile number one, I think for you, this catalyst is... It's going to be very interesting because different people are watching different situations. I think for some of you, this wheel signifies reaching the lowest low and deciding this cannot continue. And I think for others of you, this wheel signifies reaching the highest high, meaning everything on my list has been done. Everything that I was told I had to do in order to be happy has been done, has been accomplished, has been checked off. And now I'm realizing it didn't bring me where I wanted to be. And I think for some of you, like depending on where you are at in this, the highest high and the lowest low is kind of the same energy with the lines blurred. Of just like, for some of you, that highest high turned into the lowest low. And for others of you, that lowest low was, I just cannot keep going. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep going down this road. And this Page of Wands is the curiosity, is the excitement and the enthusiasm that you have for something different. It's that inner calling, it's that inner dreamer that keeps calling to you and saying, I'm here, let's do something different, let's explore something different, let's find a different way. And I think for you, pile number one, for most of you, I would be surprised if there isn't something that you are very passionate about. And for some of you, it could be like a creative endeavor. But this Page of Wands is really you giving yourself permission to dream. You giving yourself permission to realize that life can be easier, that life can be so much more than heaviness and responsibilities and expectations. What brings that on? Different things for different people, but it feels like a moment in time, something significant. Even if it wasn't a super significant event in the grand scheme of things, it feels like a very significant realization, a very significant moment for you individually. Of something has to change, and I'm going to allow myself to be inspired by the things that I love and to follow that inspiration. And I'm going to allow myself to ignite this flame of desire, of passion, of creativity, of potential. Because pile number 1, you are fully tapping into your potential. You are fully tapping into what is possible for you. And I think if there's an energy that you are embodying and working with or moving towards at this time, is this Page of Wands. Let's take a look at healing or growth that you are currently doing or that you can do at this time. So you're going to take this message as it resonates for you. The 5 of Pentacles, I love that that's there, and I'll explain why. The 3 of Pentacles, you have the Magician twice. Magician energy is also very powerful for this group, so really embodying that and working with that energy, that archetype, would be very helpful. Pile number 1. This is going to be what you can do or what you are already doing. If you're already doing it, keep doing it. If it's not something that you've started, this is something that you should consider, right? I'm not here to tell you what to do. You have autonomy. 5 of Pentacles, feel the feelings. Feel the feelings. Cry, scream, punch a pillow. Keep yourself safe, right? We're not doing anything that's going to hurt you. But feel the feelings. Grieve. Allow yourself to realize that you are different, that you have changed and that you are changing, that things that maybe once resonated with you simply no longer resonate with you. And that's okay. Allow yourself to be where you are at. It is okay to not be okay for a minute. It is okay to not have to do anything, to not have to be productive for a while. It is okay to exist where you are at, and it is okay to just sit with whatever is coming up, even if it's uncomfortable, because I think there's a level of it that's very uncomfortable. And I also think this is speaking to, it's okay to grieve the doors that have closed, even if you close them yourself, because that can be a very complicated thing, right? To say, I've worked so hard on this, or I've invested so much time on this, or this is what I thought my life was going to be, and it's not. Even though I'm the one that's consciously closing that door, I'm the one that's walking away from this, it's still something that I get to grieve. And another thing that's coming through pile number 1 is lean into, it is okay if I don't fit in to the expectations, right? It's okay if I am the black sheep in the family. It's okay if I have to break free, if I have to set boundaries. It's okay if I'm not the most liked person at this time, or the person that is received with the most love and attention at this time, because I'm doing what's right. And for some of you, this is the time to find community, to find like-minded people. This is about you saying, I'm going to find a support system that maybe does not currently exist in my own circle, in my own family. And this is also speaking to, this is a time for you to explore, to learn, to be curious. So, reading the books, experimenting, figuring out what works for you, what you desire, and what you want more of. And this is also speaking to, in order to heal and grow at this time, it's about allowing yourself to be the magician, allowing yourself to manifest and create from your heart, allowing yourself to manifest and create with the resources that you already have at your disposal, and to allow yourself to manifest through intentional action and by following your desires. by being very intentional about what it is that you're creating, especially if what you are creating is not what is already in your life or what you think is expected of you or what you think you are allowed to. So we're going to look at what is the legacy of this healing, right? So we are talking about the cycles. What cycles, what generational wealth are you creating? Temperance with Artemis. Page of coins. Sorry, why did I read coins? Page of cups. I just noticed that as I was putting it down. And Four of cups. So I think this is beautiful because I think the changes that are happening due to your own healing is that there is more balance coming in. And I said this at the beginning. For this pile, what has been passed down to you is not necessarily a bad thing if it's in balance. Because when it's balanced, when it's operating from a place of security and confidence and empowerment, it's beautiful because it's someone who works very hard, someone who knows how to persevere, someone who doesn't give up. But when it's operating from a place of fear and lack and scarcity, that's where the problems come into play. And the changes that are happening because of you and because of the work that you are doing is that it's bringing this energy into balance, and it's bringing this energy into a place where it's a blessing. Because too much of anything is a bad thing, and you're just bringing this into balance. You are bringing this focus, you are bringing the hard work, you are bringing all of this and balancing it out. And you are also bringing emotion and emotional intelligence to everything to the skills and to the gifts, right? Because this is going to turn to gifts. So you are bringing an emotional balance in where it's not just all responsibility and hard work for the sake of it. And I think what you are also bringing is this sense of this is no longer going to be something that we do because it's expected. It's not something that we're not going to exist in a place of apathy. We are not going to exist in a place of just following what must be done or what is expected. It's bringing life back into our choices and back into the creations that we are creating. And I think a big thing for this group is that balance between the mind and the heart that you are creating, that you are going to help future generations, but also for yourself, right? Tap into. And I would not be surprised, pile number one, if there are people that maybe are very harsh or have been harsh towards you that realize the importance of what you are doing. It's transforming the energy that is already there and transmuting it. You are an alchemist, so you are transmuting that energy into a positive, into its highest form. So we're going to take all of this, and instead of doing it from a place of fear and from a place of responsibility and requirement, we're going to do it from a place of excitement and possibility. That's actually very beautiful and very powerful. So we're going to get some messages from the ancestors. First and foremost, we have upskill, work, career, crossroads. Yeah, for this group, a lot of this is playing out in like work, responsibilities, career, business, something like that. Family connections, respect, people, kinship. whole self health, natural therapies, balance, not even going to try. My mouth is not trying to say all that. Sometimes it comes out, sometimes it doesn't. Pile number 1. Let's talk about it. So, first and foremost, I think what your ancestors are saying is that you are absolutely changing the trend. You are absolutely changing the cycle. And I know that the name of this reading is Breaking the Cycle, but that's exactly what you are doing. You are breaking the cycle. And your ancestor, or ancestors for some of you, they're really encouraging this work because they know it's time for this work to be done. A lot of this is going to be focused on work, responsibilities, career, money, home. And your ancestors want you to know that they are so proud of you for putting your wholeness, your self-health at the front of this. Because there's an ancestor that's coming in, and I feel like for many of you, this could be on the maternal side. Take it as it resonates. But there's an ancestor coming in that's really speaking to, I was just not able to do that, right? We were not able to do that. And you have the opportunity to do that. And not only should you, but we are so proud that that is what you are doing. And your ancestors are saying that your relationship to self and your relationships, your connections to others, those connections that are really meaningful to you, should be at the forefront. There's a lot of encouragement here. There's a lot of love. And there's also a message that this is a big time of transformation for your generational line. That's coming through as well. Let's see what other messages we have here. Flower, be honest with yourself. And villain, you can always rewrite the story. Pile number 1, I almost heard like every story has a villain, and I wonder if it's that the people around you have made you the villain of their story. That's their choice. That's not your choice. But you get to rewrite your story. You get to choose how you are going to live out your story. And pile number 1, continue to be completely authentic with yourself. Continue to empower yourself to rewrite this story because you are breaking free. For this group, the throat chakra, speaking your truth, living your truth. Pile number 1, that is what I have for you. Let's see, what is your affirmation? I rewrite my story. These are sometimes hard because I'm doing them on the spot. I don't see the cards before you do. I rewrite my story. I think that is it. I rewrite my story to, you know what? Let's change it. I rewrite my story and I am in control of my future. That is your affirmation for the week. Claim it in the comments. Use it if it's something that you want to use. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you'd like to see next. I do have a running list of everything that you guys suggest, so let me know. Share the video if you think it's worth sharing. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. I am sending so much love, so many blessings, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye for now. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the Medusa card with the 8 of Swords there. We are going to place this right over here. As a reminder, this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. You know yourself best. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. I did do a reading breakdown, which did go over everything we are going to cover during this reading, I highly suggest that you check that out. It is timestamped below. But to get started, we are going to look at your current energy. And this is going to help you not only connect to what's really happening for you at this time, but also it's supposed to help you confirm if this is the right pile for you. If this portion of the reading doesn't resonate, it's probably best to pick a different pile, as the rest of this will probably not resonate either. So let's get started. So let's see what's going on here. We have the stingray. I just noticed, look at the chakras there. I don't think I've noticed that before. We also have boundaries. Okay. And we have insight. So pile number 2. Let's talk about it. And also, you did choose Medusa. And Medusa is known to be a protector, especially a protector of women. So very interesting here. We have the stingray, which the stingray in this deck is water energy. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces being represented. We have boundaries with Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn being represented. And we have insight with Gemini, Libra, Aquarius being represented. These signs, if you don't hear your sign, it doesn't mean that this reading isn't for you. Just take it as extra confirmation if you do resonate with the signs that were mentioned. But let's talk about what's currently happening, pile number 2, because we have the stingray here. And I think right now, first and foremost, you are working very hard on yourself and on building your self-confidence. This could be a time where you have focused all of your energy inward, where you have decided that you are going to prioritize yourself, and not only just yourself, but your overall well-being and your overall needs are a priority at this time. Pile number 2, I think that you are someone that is not only working on your self-confidence, but you're working on your boundaries. And one thing about my pile number 2s is that I think that you are in a place where you are not to be messed with. You are in a place where you are taking no crap from anyone. This feels like a time where you are focused on growth and self-improvement. And I also think there is a lot of self-awareness here as well. Like, you are aware of what's working for you, what's not working for you. You are aware of where it is that you want to go. And even if you don't have a exact idea of what you want your future to look like, I think you are in a place where you at least know what you don't want it to look like. And for my pile number 2s, I think that you're in a place of transformation and transition where you are having to choose between what you know and what is comfortable, and what you want and what is outside of your comfort zone. So it feels like you are being called to explore and to go and kind of get more comfortable with the unfamiliar, with unfamiliar territory, and with what you haven't had a chance to explore just yet. And I think that for my pile number 2s, you're in a place where if it's easy, you don't want it. You would rather take on something that is challenging and new, but that you know has the potential to bring you what you desire, or to make you happy, or bring happiness and joy into your life, than you are with staying with the same old. This feels like a time of expansion for my pile number 2s, and it also feels like a time where choices are being made. And these choices aren't necessarily easy, but you are ready to make these choices, pile number 2. And I also think that you're in a place where, for some of you, this in itself has been a cycle where maybe you've been going through periods of time where you feel this discomfort, you feel this need to do something different, and you may choose to ultimately stay with what is familiar, stay with what is um, comfortable, or what is easy, if you will. And I think what you're finding is that the more that you ignore this inner calling, the louder the call becomes. Like, it may quiet down for a little bit, but then it comes back and it's louder and it's more obvious. And it's gotten to a point where, for some of you, you can no longer ignore the inner call. And I think that that inner call is your desires, your heart's desires, your higher self calling to you, saying, change must happen. This is not enough. We must expand and we must grow. And it feels like for my pile number 2s, right now you're in a place where your connection to the divine, your connection to something bigger than yourself, is absolutely, it's so powerful at this time, where it's almost like I don't think you can ignore the connection, or you can ignore the call even if you wanted to. And I think that part of what's happening for my pile number 2s right now, as you're watching this video in your life, is that you're having to kind of re-examine how you are relating to not only yourself but others, and how you are communicating your needs to yourself and others, and what you are doing about those needs and those desires. I think that you're in a place where you're having to explore very uncomfortable places, uncomfortable ideas, and uncomfortable concepts. This feels like, exploring the unknown, having to sit with the unknown, the discomfort of not knowing exactly what's next. But also, this feels like I've reached a point that I have to. I've reached a point that I cannot ignore this. And there's a level of self discovery that is happening where you are discovering new aspects of yourself, and almost like a driving force that is what's carrying you forward on this next leg of the journey. Because this feels like a very clear, brand new beginning for my pile number 2s, where it feels like one chapter is ending and the other one is beginning. And I feel like pile number 2, you've had a say in this, you've had a choice, and you are choosing this. For some of you, you have undergone a Kundalini awakening. For others of you, it could be that you have a snake as a spirit animal. I'm seeing something about snakes, something about the spine, something about the Kundalini. And it's very interesting. We have the stingray there with the spine being highlighted when it comes to the stingray, because the spine is the chakras, right? Let's take a look at this card up close. It's the chakras. That's where those chakras are at. And I think for you, pile number 2, it's this, like, you can no longer ignore this call, and also this connection to the higher self, and this experiencing of an awakening that is happening for you. And I also think there is a activation happening through your chakras. For some of you, you are connecting with your soul star chakra as well. The crown chakra, the solar plexus, and the sacral chakra, very active at this time for this group. And I'm also seeing the heart chakra being very active at this time. And pile number 2, you are being called to expand and to be your authentic self and to show up and allow yourself to be seen at this time. And for some of you, those boundaries, you are holding the boundaries at this point in time. You're not putting up with anyone's crap at this time. Pile number 2. I know I said that, but that is coming in loud and clear for this group. But let's take a look at root. What is the core wound or trauma? What is being passed down, right? Through your line, what's going on here? Let's take a look. We have Page of Cups, the Emperor, and we have the King of Swords. So as far as, we're talking about generational trauma, generational curses, cycles, patterns that are being passed down from generation to generation. I think for this group, there's a few things coming in. First and foremost, I want to start with the Page of Cups because that is the first card that we got. And one thing that I think is happening for this group has to do with the emotional self, the emotional body. And I think there may be, because when we're talking about this portion in specific, we're talking about like these core wounds, beliefs, this trauma that's being passed down from line to line. And I think a big thing here is a level of disconnect from the emotional self, a level of maybe ignoring the emotional self and ignoring the emotional body, and almost like this energy, because we also have the King of Swords, we have the Emperor here. It's almost this energy of I am focused on, for some, it's going to be the mind with this King of Swords being here, right? I'm focused on being rational, on being logical. I am focused on doing what seems logically correct, to the point where I'm kind of ignoring my intuition. I'm ignoring my feelings, and I'm paying attention to other parts of myself, right? So an imbalance for some is what's showing up here between the spiritual self and the physical self, or between the emotional self and the mental body as well. And one thing that I also think that has been happening generationally for this group has been almost like ignoring the signs, ignoring what you know or what your ancestors knew to be true. And I also think that there's a level here of almost being rigid in the approach, right? Being rigid in the approach of this is our belief and this is how we think things should be done. And there's a level of tradition here that's playing out as well, of we have to keep doing things the way that they've been done because that's what works, because that's how we are used to doing things. And it's limiting in that way. I will also say throughout your generational line for pile number 2, I think there's a level of just being stubborn and wanting to control outcomes and being stubborn about the approach to those things, and not necessarily being flexible and open to different ideas or to different possibilities. And there's also a level here, I really have to say, for my pile number 2s, there's a level of we appreciate logic over emotion. We appreciate the mind over the heart. And we try to be very rational about next steps, about actions, about our approach to things. So when we're talking about this, we are talking about, what is being passed down from generation to generation. And I think for this group, a big part of this is a suppression, a repression of emotion, and an elevation of logic and approaching things from a place of logic and not necessarily allowing the two to be balanced out, to be combined in a way that would be beneficial. And I really think for this group, there's like this repression of the emotional self, of the creative self as well, to some degree, but mainly of the emotional self. So I would not be surprised if like this presents in your generational line as like maybe having like family members or grandparents or parents that were very emotionally distant or didn't necessarily know how to say, like, you know what, I'm here, I got you, it's okay to show your emotions, it's okay to be sad. Like it feels like there was some level of repressed emotional sensitivity, or even just of the emotional body overall. And it almost feels like there could have been situations where the emotions are coming up and we don't know how to deal with them. So they're kind of bubbling over. And instead of let's have a conversation, let's deal with this, it's like almost like they explode and it's anger or it's like just crying. And then we go back to ignoring the emotions. So that's coming through. Let's actually look at pattern. How is this repeated across different generations or across generations? Let's see how this is being repeated. Three of Wands, Page of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. So this is being repeated across generations for my pile number twos in different ways. First and foremost, I think there's a level of not necessarily dealing head on with things as they come up, especially when it has to do with emotions or dealing with like emotional fallout. I also think there's a level here where it's let's actually focus on what's tangible. Let's focus on what we can, almost like, again, the tangible, what we can touch, what we can really deal with, what we can control. And I think there's a suppression of the intuition that has been passed down across generations, where it's not that there aren't intuitive people, because I do think that your family line, pile number two, is very intuitive to begin with. But there is almost this level of not being in tune because the space and time to create, to connect to that aspect of self is not being created. I also think there's a lot of, I almost want to say, secrets, or like a lot of things that aren't really brought to light or aren't really dealt with throughout the generations or like throughout the families. It's almost like we have to keep this hidden to some degree, or we have to keep this private, or there's like mystery surrounding this. I would not be surprised if there's also a level of like gossip with these cards being here that's happening within the family lines of like maybe, instead of talking directly with one another, there's like people that are gossiping behind each other's backs or talking crap or just like refusing to deal with it head on. There's a level of not dealing with or not connecting to the intuitive voice here that's very heavily coming through as to how this is being repeated. It's like ignoring of the intuitive self. It's not dealing with things head on, keeping things hidden, not really talking things through. There's a level of, yeah, there's like a level of waiting for this group, like having to wait for things, or and this feels like purposeful, like I'll deal with this I'll deal with this later, but it doesn't really always get dealt with. And it could feel like there are delays that show up, like it's almost like we take 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. And for some, it's because there's a lack of connection to the intuitive self throughout the generations. And what's funny is that for this, like for your generation, there's a lot of intuition here, but there's not the tapping into the intuition in order to ground the dream, the wish to reality. And what's interesting here is that you have the ideas. Like, generationally speaking, the people in your family have had amazing ideas, but it feels like when it comes to grounding these ideas to reality, it can kind of get a little bit muddled at times. We're going to look at the inheritance. So, how do you personally experience or carry this? I'm very curious to what this is going to be. How do you personally experience or carry these things? Wow, Page of Pentacles again. Okay. 5 of Swords and Queen of Wands. Pile number 2, for you personally, it affects you because it prevents you from stepping into your fully stepping into your nature, which is the Queen of Wands. You are somebody who is very intuitive. You are somebody who's very creative, very passionate. You are someone who is very independent, but it almost feels like there's a level of this that kind of plays a push and pull energy here, because we have the Page of Pentacles to start as to how it's affecting you personally. And part of this has to do with a level of procrastination when it comes to you personally, and perhaps not fully allowing yourself to ground your dreams into reality and to give yourself a shot to really go after what you desire, because you are incredibly powerful. You are incredibly spiritual. And I think when it comes to your generational line, you are probably, especially out of like the last few generations, you're probably one of the people that is most in tune to your intuition and to spirit. But there's also this almost like very slow moving energy that is happening as a result of these cycles that have been passed down, because there can be a lack of progress here due to a lack of trust in self, or to the lack of trust in this is what I want and this is what I'm going to ground into reality, which could be a level of procrastination, but also not fully committing to the dream, not fully committing to, I want this for a reason and I'm making it happen. And I think for some of you, you have committed to it, but there's a level of push and pull energy, because then we go into this 5 of Swords energy. And this 5 of Swords is really speaking to that inner conflict, right? That push and pull. That I know I want this. I know I'm meant for this. I know I'm connected to my intuition. I know this is my dream, and it's my dream because it wants me and I want it. But also there's like that push and pull where it's, maybe not having the full confidence to believe in yourself and believe in the dream. Maybe not having that full confidence to invest in yourself and invest in the dream. And I'm saying this with peace and love, right? Because this is what's coming through. So I have to tell you what's coming through. And I don't think you realize your skill set and your ability. And it almost feels like there is a level of I'm taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Like I make this progress, but then I kind of have to fall back again, and I make progress again, and I'm kind of like there's a delay. There's something that's holding me back. But regardless of gender, regardless of your zodiac sign, this Queen of Wands is who you are. You are creative, you are passionate, you are determined, you're confident. You are a visionary. You are here to pave your own way. But there's like this, almost like this back and forth dance between some beliefs, some of this generational trauma, curse, pattern, cycle, however you want to refer to it, that is still kind of holding you back to some degree, because you are unstoppable, pile number 2. And for some of you, this is presenting by there being a fear of you fully allowing yourself to commit to it, to take the risk, to take the leap. And for this group, it's going to be very important to build your confidence, to really believe in your worth, because you are worthy of what you want, and what you want wants you back. And again, pile number 2, I think if you pick this pile, you are already, I mean, look at your current status. This is the work that you are already doing. And I think that you recognize that this is how it's showing up for you. Let's look at the soul contract. What role are you playing in this healing? So what role are you, pile number 2, playing in this healing? 10 of Wands. Wow, 10 of Pentacles. The number 10, so a lot of completion here. And King of Pentacles. Wait, did we have the King of Pentacles? No, we did not. Am I making that up? No. Okay, so pile number 2. The role that you are playing in healing this is extremely important, because it's almost like you are coming in to close the deal. So I want to say for this group, it could be that there are people in your line, in your generational line, in your family line, that have already started this work, and you're almost kind of taking it over. That's going to be true for some of you. For others of you, this is about where you are currently at, where you are at the breaking point, or breakthrough, I should say, of transitioning to the other side of this. Because the 10, especially in tarot, right? It's a completion. It's a closing of a cycle. And after 10, we get to that 1. And if you want to look at it with the numerology, 1 plus 0 is 1. So the 10 is the completion, but it's also the new beginning. And we have 2 10s here. We have the 10 of Wands to begin, which this 10 of Wands is speaking with. Your role is, first and foremost, I think you are one of the people in your family or throughout your generations where you have taken on so much of the responsibility, when you've taken on so much of the burden, right? But I also think that you are in a place right now where you are realizing that you have taken on more than what is yours to handle, and more than what is your responsibility. And this feels like a time with this 10 of Wands where it's you are prioritizing what's important and prioritizing what you are going to carry forth with you. And you are in a place where your role in all of this is you are going to keep going. You are not giving up, but you are also being very intentional. And for those of you that haven't gotten to this point, your role is to be very intentional about what you are going to carry forward. It's that recognition of, do I truly believe this, or is this something that has been passed on to me? Is this really mine to carry, or can I put this down? Where did this come from? Do I need it going forward? How is this helping me? How is this getting me to where I want to be? And for you, pile number 2, this is also the role that you are playing is also all about creating new paradigms in your own family line, in your own generational line. And part of what you are creating is balance between the emotional and the mental, the spiritual and the physical. And you are bridging this, right? Because when we talk about the 10 of Pentacles, this is a card that speaks to spiritual and material abundance. It speaks to wealth and prosperity, and it speaks to building a legacy. And the way that you are doing that is by allowing your intuition to lead the way, but also by allowing your intuition to speak to you about what the next steps are. Because it almost feels like part of what was happening here and what has been passed down through generations is almost like this sense of self-doubt, or this energy of like, but I don't know how. Or I'm just going to wait and see how it's going to pan out. Whereas for you, it's you grounding all of this into reality by letting yourself fully go after what you want. And most importantly, pile number 2, allowing yourself to receive what it is that you want and being in alignment with the universe so that you can receive what is meant for you. And I think for you, pile number 2, there's a very fine line between patience and almost being in this place of like just waiting around and not necessarily acting on the intuition. And you are bridging the gap because you know when it's time to have patience, but you also know when it's time to kind of nudge things along. There's a lot of personal growth here, and your role in this is to continue to cultivate personal growth and wealth. And I'm not just talking wealth in the form of finances or material items. This is about emotional wealth, right? Mental wealth, wealth in all its forms, abundance in all its forms. And I think a big part of this for you, pile number 2, is going to be confidence. And it's going to be the receptivity of I am going to allow myself to not only create what I want, but receive it and allow it in. Let's look at the catalyst. So the moment, the realization, energy pushing you to break the pattern. And this could be something that has already happened or something that is currently happening or about to happen. We have the 7 of Wands, 3 Wise Buddhas. This is actually a card exclusive to this deck. It's one of their major arcana cards in the deck that's, again, exclusive to the deck. But I want to talk about what's this catalyst for you. And I think for you, I love that it's the 7 of Wands because it's the realization that you deserve the best. It's the realization that you get to experience what you want to experience, and that your biggest competition is yourself. Whatever this is in regards to, There's a realization here that the biggest competition in life is you. And there's also this sense of determination, this sense of I am going to protect myself, what is mine, and what is meant for me by going fully after it. And for some of you, you may even deal with like people who either try to keep you down or people that like maybe would be considered like a hater. And that's part of a driving force for you, pile number 2. And the driving force is you are absolutely dedicated to getting rid of anything or anyone that is low vibrational. You refuse to stay in low vibration. And the 3 Buddhas is speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil. And it's a very spiritual card in this deck. And your spirituality is part of this driving force, is the catalyst, right? That's coming in. So I would not be surprised, pile number 2, if you are someone that didn't necessarily grow up spiritual, that didn't necessarily experience like either a spiritual upbringing or a religious one, where it's like you have found spirituality and that's been part of your catalyst, but you're so determined. And anytime there's a challenge or there's almost like this obstacle in the way, that just pushes you forward even more. That just motivates you even more, pile number 2. Let's take a look at the inner work. So, what is healing or growth you are doing or can do to help this along? So, this is something that you are already doing that you should keep doing, or something that you can do and a suggestion for you to start doing. 10 of Swords. Wow, you have a lot of 10 energy. 8 of Swords, very interesting. That's your Medusa card, is the 8 of Swords. And King of Pentacles. Okay, I keep feeling like we've pulled the King of Pentacles, but I see the King of Swords, Page of Pentacles. Okay, we did have the King of Pentacles. Okay. For this group, there's a lot of Pentacles energy. But let's talk about the healing or growth that you are doing or can do. First and foremost, this 10 energy, this completion energy, this closing of a chapter, closing of a cycle, like being very intentional about this is what comes with me to the next chapter, to the next cycle. This is what I leave here. I don't want this. I don't need this. I drop this off right here. This is also about just faith and having hope and faith and optimism that the worst is now behind you. That from here forward, there is light, there is hope, there is possibility. When we see the 10 of Swords, the 9 of Swords is all about like that long night, the fear, the things that keep us up at night. The 10 of Swords is daybreak, right? It's now daytime. The worst is now behind you. And this is an opportunity for a brand new beginning and an opportunity to find hope and to operate from a place of resiliency. We also have this 8 of Swords. So really working with your limiting beliefs, really working with the stories that you tell yourself. Do you think something is impossible? Why? Find a way to make it possible. And I know that's easier said than done. If you feel stuck, make a move that's going to help you move forward. This is also about realizing that there are more options available than what you think possible. This is the energy of if the door is closed, find an open window. So in order to heal and grow, this is about continuing to challenge yourself, especially those beliefs, especially that inner voice. And if you feel helpless, realizing that you have autonomy, that you are powerful, that you are protected, that you are being watched over. And pile number 2, one of the best things that you can do at this time, or you can continue to do, is dismantle the old story of who you were, what you were, and what was going to be your life. Because I think you are breaking absolutely free. And for this group, it's about creating possibility. What's that quote by it's Alice in Wonderland. It's like by something AM I've already believed in like 10 impossible things. Oh my god, what is it? I can't remember. This is gonna bother me. It's from Alice in Wonderland. Somebody's gonna know it. It's about I will, if I remember, I will put it on the screen, or I will include it in like the comments. But I'm sure somebody knows what I'm talking about. And I think, is it the Mad Hatter that said it? I believe so. I'll look into it. But pile number 2, yeah, just really working with any limitations, or looking at the ways in which you thought you were trapped, or you thought you were stuck, and realizing all of those options that are available to you. And we also have this King of Pentacles here again. And this King of Pentacles is talking about being patient with the process, right? But also continuing to build that confidence, continuing not only to build the confidence, but to act on it, right? When you act on what you believe, when you trust yourself, you can prove to yourself that you are worthy of self-trust. You grow and you strengthen your confidence. But most importantly, to continue to dream and continue to want bigger and better for yourself, and then go after it and create it. We're going to look at the legacy of healing, and this is changes due to your healing. So what change are you creating for yourself and even future generations? What is the legacy that you are building? Knight of Coins. Wow, the Empress. And then we have the Queen of Wands. Stop it. Okay, so you have the Queen of Wands here, and this was the Queen of Wands. And remember, that Queen of Wands, let me look at that Queen of Wands came out for how you are personally experiencing or carrying these beliefs, this trauma, this curse. I love it because it's you taking back that energy and you fully embracing the Queen of Wands, the Empress energy, and becoming exactly that. So the changes that you are creating and the legacy that you are leaving behind as you do this work is that you are going to be abundant, financially abundant, mentally, emotionally, physically. This is you stepping fully into your power, you experiencing the things that you want to experience, you having happiness, joy, independence, living out your vision for yourself, creating the life that you want for yourself. This is you fully stepping into this Queen of Wands. And as we talked about, who is this Queen of Wands? She is somebody who is passionate, confident, bold, enthusiastic, spiritual, powerful. I may have said powerful, but powerful. She is somebody who is capable, fierce, full of purpose. The Queen of Wands is not afraid to live life to the beat of her own drum. She is eccentric. She knows who she is, she knows what she's worth, and she will accept no less than that. And you also have the Empress card here, which is the card of creation itself. Mother Earth being represented here, the divine feminine, fertility, goddess energy, unconditional love. This is you experiencing a connection between body, mind, and spirit. This is you experiencing oneness within all aspects of yourself. And I think the legacy that you are going to leave behind is one of that's very powerful, but that's also showing how operating from a place of the divine feminine and taking into consideration intuition and taking into consideration feelings, emotions is actually what makes you even more powerful. I love that, pile number 2. Let's take a look at any message or a message from the ancestors. See what we have here. Be thankful, gratitude, appreciation, and harmony. Open to love, relationships, passion, fulfillment. There's a lot about fulfillment. There's a lot about family here as well. Get into nature, coexistence, gather, limit, waste. So pile number 2, I think a big message for you in this reading from the ancestors is, for those of you, I want to talk on the relationship message first because it's coming through loud and clear. For those of you that are wanting to manifest a relationship, part of what you are clearing, and then as you clear these cycles and this generational curse, generational trauma, whatever you want to call it, pattern, it's going to be the ability to create a relationship, a romantic relationship, but also I think platonic relationships that are healthy, that are based on respect, that are full of honesty. And for some of you, if what you've been wanting to also create involves like creating your own family, this is your ancestors saying that you are absolutely going to create, you're going to be able to create a family that doesn't have, for those of you that relate to that message of like secrecy or like not dealing with things or not being fully emotionally available, you are creating the absolute opposite of that, where it's let's talk things out, let's communicate, let's be in love, right? And let's be grateful for one another, and let's do what's right and not put things off. But in addition to that, there's definitely a message here around your ancestors being so grateful for you and all of the hard work that you are doing. And I think that your ancestors are really blessing you, pile number 2, and really working with you. For some of you, you have ancestors that are serving almost as like spirit guides at this time, and that they are serving to help bring in opportunities for you. So connecting to your ancestors, for some of you, you may already be doing ancestral work. If anyone here relates to like an ofrenda or like Dia de los Muertos, if you did something for your ancestors then, it could very well be that you are already connected. Or again, if it's like an ofrenda where you have maybe like an altar or an offering out to an ancestor, they're wanting to recognize that. And this is also your ancestors just saying, keep going. You're doing beautifully. You are going to reach, the sky's the limit, pile number 2. And your ancestors are so proud of you. And they're helping you. Like, they are actively helping you. And it's like your win is all of us winning. There's a specific ancestor for this group. For some of you, it's going to be like a aunt, great aunt, something around those. Is it aunt or aunt? I know people, I always say aunt, and I don't know why it came out as aunt, because I don't say it that way. Anyways, a great aunt that is working with you. Take that if it resonates, because it's very specific. let's see what else we have here. We have mirror, treat your body like the palace it is. And red, forgive. So pile number 2. First and foremost, I think this treat your body like the palace it is about self-confidence, self-love, self-worth. But I also think this is about making sure that you are treating yourself the way that you deserve, that you are being kind to yourself, that you are being compassionate towards yourself. And I think this is also a message of, wow, that 10 again. I just noticed that 10. You are setting brand new foundations. You are dismantling what is not working and absolutely like just putting down new foundations, and your ancestors are so proud of that. Pile number 2, that is what I have for you. Claim it in the comments. Your affirmation: I create with my higher self. I create with my higher self, because that is what you are doing. You are absolutely tuned into your higher self. You are creating from a place of connection with your higher self. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video if you think it's worth sharing. Let me know what else you'd like to see next. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I am sending so much love, so many blessings, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye for now. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you are drawn to the Moon card with Selene. And I'm going to place that right over there. As a reminder, this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. You know yourself best. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. Also, I did do a reading breakdown with information on exactly what is going to be covered during this reading. I highly, highly suggest that you check that out. It is timestamped below. So to get started with this reading, we are going to be looking at current energy. And this is to help you determine if this is the right pile for you. So if this portion of the reading does not resonate, try choosing a different pile, since probably the rest of this will not resonate with you either. But let's get started. So first we have Hummingbird, Advocate, and Balance. All right, so pile number 3, let's talk about what your current energy is. And I want to mention that you did choose Selene with the Moon card, and she is the Moon goddess. Also, she is believed to be the Moon incarnate. So a lot of Moon energy for this group. So as we talk about the zodiac signs, Cancer strongly represented with that card and with Selene being here. Also because it's the Moon in tarot, Pisces energy represented. With the Hummingbird, we have air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. With the Advocate, and I would say the Advocate and Balance, I would say is more of earth energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I almost said Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces for some reason. But let's talk about your current energy, pile number 3. And I absolutely love that we have the Hummingbird here, because this feels like a very, if not joyful, I would say very curious energy to be in. So pile number 3, what is currently happening for you? I think you're in a place where it's one of two things. You're either experiencing a level of joy and positivity, or you are determined to experience more joy or positivity. And I think for some of you, it's a little bit of both. But with the Hummingbird being here, there is this level of just willingness to experiment, to kind of learn and figure things out through experiences that is showing up here. There is a lot of curiosity here as well, just trying to figure things out, being open to learning, open to expanding your mind, your experiences. Um, there's also this energy here of just rejuvenation and almost like this new beginning energy that's here for you, pile number three. And I think that you're in a place where you are actively seeking to bring in more goodness in your life, to bring in more positivity in your life, and to this is really almost like I want to be more lighthearted. I think for some of you, you could be working with the inner child at this time. This feels like an energy that you've probably been through a lot of heavy experiences lately, or in the past, probably like 2 to 3 years, where now it's you are actively working on bringing in more of what you want and creating opportunities around not only what you want, but also opportunities around peace and harmony. And I think almost like relaxing energy and harmony to even out past experiences. And I think you, for my pile number threes, it's being in a place where you may feel more grounded, you may feel more present in the present moment. And I think for my pile number threes, there's almost this like exploration of spirituality. So you could be somebody that has recently discovered or rediscovered your spirituality, or someone who is kind of rediscovering spiritual beliefs in the sense of what do I believe right now and where am I at with my spiritual practice. So there's a lot of just like curious energy surrounding this pile and your current energy, and a lot of like exploration, adventure, spontaneity energy here as well. And I also think for this group, it's you're in a place where you're really excited about what's to come, about the opportunities that are showing up for you, or the opportunities that you will be creating for yourself. I think for this group, there's a strong connection to like fairies coming through. There's a strong connection to the third eye, to imagination, creativity. This is a group where you could be very clairvoyant. This is a group where you have a very sensitive energy as well, especially right now. It feels like at this time, as you are watching this video, your energy is especially sensitive. I also think that this is a group where right now there could be a focus on like the body and what you are consuming, not only like foods and beverages, but also just, like media, where you are investing time and energy, where you are spending your time, how you are um, connecting to yourself and the time that you are making to connect to yourself. This could also be a time where you are taking on like some sort of creative endeavor, whether it's like just for self expression, or if it's something more serious or more like career oriented or like a project. But it feels like for many there's some level of creative expression that's happening through some sort of creative endeavor. I feel like for you, pile number three, there's almost like coming out of a time where there was a lot of sadness, maybe like a lot of just. It feels like very subtle, but it feels like it was there. Like maybe you were feeling blue, or maybe you weren't really feeling like yourself. And you are bringing in the brightness back into your life. Throat chakra is also very active for this group at this time. Pile number 3, make sure that you are drinking enough water or getting enough beverages. I don't know why that's coming through. It's very specific. Take it if it resonates. If it doesn't, leave it behind. But this feels like a time where the focus is on simplifying, on learning, and on just experiencing more joy and allowing yourself to go with the flow. That's coming through very loud and clear. Like this is an energy for my pile number 3s of I'm trying to go with the flow. I'm trying to make the best out of everything that's happening, and I'm trying to remain present in the present moment. And I also think it's like I am open to the opportunities that are around and meant for me at this time. Let's take a look at root. So, what core wound or trauma is being passed down here? So, what's going on? What is getting passed down here from different generations? We have temperance, justice, and we have the star. Very interesting energy. All right, pile number 3, let's talk about it. So, this is about like generational trauma, generational curses, patterns, cycles, whatever you want to call it. But what is being passed down through different generations. So, when we talk about temperance, I want to start with temperance because it's the first card that came out. But when we talk about temperance, we usually talk about like alchemy and harmony and moderation. Also, the balance between the divine masculine, the divine feminine, or yin and yang, if you will. But when we talk about what could be a generational trauma or a core wound that is being passed down, and we look at temperance, there's a level of extremes that come to play and a level of disharmony. And it also speaks to kind of like impatient energy. And when you add the justice card to that, and I actually just realized for this group, these are all major arcana cards, which is speaking to this is a big one, right? Like, this is probably a big deal that has been going on in your generational line, but also in your own life, right? Because this reading is speaking to you. But when we talk about justice card, there's karma here. There is karma associated with this. And one thing that I want to speak on is, in my belief, karma is not good or bad, right? It's cause and effect. And as humans, we kind of see it through the lens of good or bad. But karma just is. So there is a level of karma here, and kind of like a rebalancing that needs to happen, and an imbalance that is showing up here. And kind of just this really feels like for this group, it's been going on for quite a bit, generationally speaking. And it feels like it's kind of almost like a karma on top of being a core wound, a cycle, a pattern, a trauma. It's also showing up as karma. Now, for this group, I think it's going to be interesting in the fact that how this is playing out in your life is going to be very different for each person. Whereas I think for other groups, there was kind of more of a theme of like it was pointing to very specific areas. But what is being passed down for this group is a level of imbalance that is coming from this is almost like an imbalance that is existing from a loss of faith, from a disconnect. And I think what's been happening in your generational line, pile number 3, is that somewhere there's been almost like a disconnect from spirit, a disconnect from higher self, and a loss of faith. And I think this carries almost like this energy of disappointment, of things not panning out, things not turning out, this kind of idea or and I think for this group it's really manifesting in like delays, but also like a lot of missed opportunities, things like just not working out in the way that they were supposed to. And I have to say, I think for you, pile number 3, there's also a level of trauma that has been kind of happening throughout the generational line and being passed down from generation to generation. Now, how this is going to show up is going to be different for different people, right? So, this feels like it could be in many different areas. For some of you, this could be it's showing up in the actual family and in the relationships. For others of you, this could be like it's showing up in the creation of the things that we want. It's showing up in the lack of something being passed down generationally. It's going to depend. You know exactly what this is going to be for you. But I think overall, there's almost a sense of feeling lost and feeling disconnected from something higher. And it's almost like an energy of like maybe spiritually we are not being favored, or like maybe the universe doesn't necessarily have our back. And during this portion of the reading, this is kind of what the overall root is, what the energy is, and how that wound is being interpreted. But let's take a look at the pattern. So how is this repeated across generations? How is this showing up across different generations? Because I think this is going to give us more answers as well. The Hermit. Wow, the Star card again. Queen of Swords. There's a disconnect. I think throughout the generations, there's a level of feeling disconnected, especially from spirit, from some sort of higher power. Um, Also feeling disconnected from self and from the inner self. From this could even represent like feeling disconnected from other family members, from other relationships. There's a level of this disconnect feeling very not only like I feel disconnected from a higher source, or I feel disconnected from my own intuition, or I feel disconnected from my higher self, but this could also be showing up as like I just feel withdrawn from society. I feel like we don't fit in. I feel like the black sheep, and maybe not of the family, maybe it feels like the entire family or the entire generational line can feel like almost like the black sheep, or like we don't belong, like we are not welcomed, or this level of isolation is showing up here. Um, and some of this is coming from withdrawing from a place of self-protection, and there's a lack of support here that's coming through that I think is showing up throughout different generations, across different generations. And this feels almost very, obviously very heavy, but also very disappointing. Very, there's sadness here to this. This is very interesting because you know how like sometimes it's like, oh, there's the black sheep of the family. This feels like, generationally speaking, there's been almost like an outcast or somebody who feels left out. And it's like maybe it's like the entire family or more than one person. Like maybe not everybody is carrying this energy, but there is a lot of this energy that is showing up here of just separation and not fitting in and kind of having to look out for oneself because no one else is doing that, or the other, like, other people aren't really looking out for you or for your ancestors. This is very interesting energy. There's like a level of I have to say it's almost like a level of bitterness that is coming through here. A disconnect. That's really what's showing up. Like a big disconnect between us and them, between like between the self as well, like the self and others. And I think this could be manifesting in a form of, again, like more than one person throughout the generations feeling this, or it could be like the family or the group is somehow being kept on the outskirts for some reason. I actually want to get into inheritance. How do you personally experience or carry this? So, when it comes to you personally, pile number three, how is this showing up for you? Three of Wands, Queen of Swords again. Okay. Sun card. Ooh, okay. So it feels like when it comes to you personally, first and foremost, I want to speak to the sun because when it comes to the sun, it just feels like this kind of sucks your joy away. There's a level of self doubt and lack of confidence here, and almost like this, I don't want to say this mindset, but there's like a pattern here that's definitely a limiting belief around the self. And I also think that there are fears here that pile number three sometimes kind of prevent you from allowing yourself to fully open up, to fully allow joy in. And what's interesting is this is how this affects you, and how this how you personally carry this. But what's also interesting is that your current energy is really very, like, the hummingbird and the sun as far as energies are very similar. So it's almost like even though this is how this affects you personally, you've already made the choice that you are going to almost deal with this head on and find a way forward that allows you to experience more joy, that allows you to build up your confidence, that allows you to fully um, go after your goals and your dreams and your desires. And I also think that for some of you, this is manifesting as not really seeing the beauty of who you are. And I think this is externally, but also internally as well. And there's almost an energy that's coming through here that is fear that blocks the forward movement and momentum. So, like a level of self sabotage as well. For my pile number threes, we have the Queen of Swords here twice. This could be overthinking, over analyzing, and almost like staying in that energy so much that it doesn't allow you to take the chance or take the leap and try the thing and do the thing and go for the thing. I think there also is a level of self protection here that plays out through the form of indifference or I don't care about that. I don't want that. I don't care. I'm okay. Right? Like that level of I'm going to be indifferent to it because I'm not going to fully welcome it in. I'm not going to fully allow it in. I also think there's self protection in the form of not allowing other people in, keeping kind of people at a distance. For some, there's like a wall that has been built up. For some of you, this self sabotage is playing out in relationships as well. You're quite willing to cut someone off if you have to. But I think some of that, take this as it resonates, some of that could be from a place of I just don't want to get hurt. Pile number 3, there could be like a level of like an avoidant attachment style or like anxious avoidant attachment style coming through here as well. Let's take a look at the soul contract. What role are you playing in this healing? So, what's your role in all of this, right? The World card, the Devil card. Ooh, the Emperor. Pile number 3, you're getting so many major arcana cards. This is like a big thing for you. And I think this is something that has probably been playing out to some degree in probably a big way in your life for a while now. But your role in all of this is you're breaking through. You're the one that's changing all of this. You are the one that's transforming all of this. You are ascending to the next level. And I think part of what you're doing is breaking free. Breaking free from what was given to you as truth. What was told to you was truth. What was shown to you to be the truth. There's liberation here. And part of how you are doing that is through breaking through certain belief systems, breaking through certain narratives that have been long accepted as this is just how it is. You are building brand new foundations. And I think pile number 3, in order to do that, you have had to destroy a lot of what was given to you as truth, a lot of what was taught to you, a lot of just core beliefs, and a lot of what it's almost like I have to take apart everything that I thought was true in order to put this back together. And it's extremely hard work, but you're doing the thing. And you're doing it not only for yourself, but for future generations and even existing generations. Your role in all of this is to do the shadow work. And I think that you are the person who is going to be honest, right? Like, let me be honest with myself. What role do I play in this? What role have previous generations played in this? What was passed down to me? Let me take stock and inventory of what has been passed down to me. And now what do I want to do with this? And what you are doing with it, pile number 3, is completely breaking free from it. The grip that all of this has had, right? That this generational pattern, cycle has had, that what has been given to you, you've broken free from it. And for you, pile number 3, this doesn't have power over you the way that it's had power over other members, right? Where for you, it's, I do think it's still affecting you to some degree, but there's a level of self-awareness and not putting up with it that is really helping you. And you're releasing. For some of you, this is playing out in relationships. Again, especially for this group, take it as it resonates, but part of what you're doing, pile number 3, is gaining closure from this. Like, you are actually closing the chapter on this and saying enough is enough. And you are reaching new levels of consciousness through your hard work and efforts. And through expanding your mind and your knowledge. And pile number 3, I think for those of you that are already like halfway through or on the other side of this, where you are starting to build the new foundations, you're being very intentional about the action. You are being very strategic about how you are going about this. For some of you, you could be working with like spiritual laws or doing something when it comes to manifestation, like working with specific manifestation skills. Let's take a look at what is the catalyst here. So, moment, realization, energy pushing you to break the pattern. It could be a past, current, or future. 6 of Cups. King of Wands. Pile number 3, I really feel for this group, you've been doing inner child work, and I don't know if it's intentional or if it's more like subconscious inner child stuff coming up. But this is a group where a lot of what's driving you forward has to do with the past. A lot of what's driving you forward is also you making peace with the past and intentionally taking steps to ensure that you're not going to repeat certain cycles. You are not going to keep reliving certain things. It's like there's a conscious choice of, this does not work for me. I don't want to do this again. Or I've seen how this has played out for someone else in my ancestral line or in my like generational line. And as a result, I'm breaking free from this. As a result, I am consciously choosing something else. And the King of Wands is the vision. It's you having a vision of something completely different. It's also you paving the way. The catalyst is you having a vision where you do something completely different, which I don't think has been done before. Right? So for some of you, this is like, I'm going to get a degree and I'm going to be this first person in my family. I'm going to have a healthy partnership and I'm going to be the first one in my family. I'm going to be intentional about my career and I'm going to be the first one in my family. I'm going to have a good relationship with spirituality and maybe I am like the first one that's going to approach it in this way. There's something about paving the way and doing something that hasn't been done before which is what's right for you, and which actually helps you build up your confidence and your sense of self and self-worth. And pile number 3, you are leading. Like, this is you leading future generations and even existing ones into a brand new way of being. Like, you are building an empire, you are building something completely new. For some of you, what you are building is also generational wealth in the form of like material, money, finances. There's a lot of like big ideas or change here that's coming in for this group. And you're being realistic about this pile number 3. Like, this isn't like unrealistic, let me create certain things that probably wouldn't necessarily happen. This feels very realistic and like evenly paced. I want to see inner work. What healing or growth are you doing? Or can you do? So, this is something that you are already doing that you should continue to do, or suggestions on what you can do for healing and growth at this time. Judgment card. 8 of Cups, love it. 8 of Pentacles, okay. So, pile number 3. When it comes to healing and growth, some of the things that are coming up is, first and foremost, this is the perfect time to choose yourself. Walk away from anything that is not serving you. Walk away from anything that is not in your highest and greatest good. And that sometimes means that we have to create distance with certain people or situations, even though they're things that we have invested a lot of time and energy into. But if it's not viable, if it's not giving to you, if it's not nourishing you, if it's not helping you, leave that reality behind, because this is you moving to a brand new reality. This is also about choosing yourself and practicing self-love. And when it comes to self-love, we think self-love, self-care could be like, I'm going to light a candle, I'm going to give myself a facial. Yes. But also the type of self-love, self-care that we are talking about here for you, pile number 3, is I am going to do what I need to do. So this is almost like reparenting the inner child. I'm going to show up and I'm going to be there for you, and I'm going to take your hand, and I'm going to do the things that maybe are hard, but that we know needs to happen. This is about pursuing a brand new reality. And this is about building momentum. And what exactly you're going to be building momentum on, different things for different people. But this is saying take your time and really pour all of yourself into what you want to experience and what you are creating at this time. For some of you, it's going to be career related. For others of you, it's going to be a relationship. For others of you, it's going to be maybe a family connection or a way to connect in a group, in a family, in a relationship that's coming through. But as far as healing and growth, really spending time with yourself and getting to know yourself. Honoring the higher self. Acting from a place of connection to the higher self. Being true to yourself. Completely true to yourself. Like, be completely honest with yourself. Wrap up the things that you are ready to release. So this happened yesterday, this happened up until this point. I release this now. Offer yourself forgiveness if that's something that you have to offer yourself or something that you need. This is about you shining, about you embodying your higher self. Choosing yourself and acting from a place of self-love. And anything that is not in alignment with that needs to be put down, just like with that Eight of Cups. And that Eight of Pentacles is also speaking to one step at a time. Taking your time to really master whatever it is that you're working on. But also doing things that are in alignment with your soul purpose. And if you're not sure at this point what that soul purpose is, following your heart so that you can discover what makes you feel aligned, what makes you feel joyful, and what your soul purpose is. And especially for pile number 3, there's like almost like this complete transformation of self that's happening here. And this is not the time for shortcuts, pile number 3. For some of you, there's something that you will be learning. This could be going back to school for something, a change, maybe in career. Take it if it resonates. For others of you, it's like learning more about yourself as you move through this process. But let's take a look at the legacy, right, of this healing. So what are the changes that you will be experiencing and even like future generations will be experiencing as a result of your hard work? 9 of Swords. Ace of Swords. The Fool card. This is a brand new beginning. This is also breaking free from like that anxiety, breaking free from that fearful thinking, breaking free from feeling alone, that isolation, that feeling like you don't belong, or feeling left out, or feeling completely just overwhelmed. And those worries, those fears that come up, those illusions. This is you connecting to courage. And I think for this group, a lot of what you will be experiencing as a result of the changes is clarity. Like a clear mind, being able to connect and have a clear path forward where you feel fully sure of what your next steps are. And I also think there's a lot of ease coming in for this group where things are not going to feel as hard. Things are not going to feel as difficult. For some, it's even connection coming in. It's the releasing of the inner turmoil, the releasing of those fears. That negative self-talk is not going to be there. And here's the thing, right? We have to be realistic. We are humans. We're going to have moments where like we have a little bit of fear, we have doubts, we have ego kind of scaring us. But it doesn't feel extreme. It doesn't feel like almost this paralyzing type of fear and anxiety. Because we have this Ace of Swords here. And this Ace of Swords is speaking to clarity, new ideas flowing. And not only new ideas flowing, but being clear on what those ideas are to the point where you can take action on them And they're not just an idea, they're not just a dream, a wish. They are a reality because they are created and grounded into reality. This is also about not necessarily having to feel like you have to overanalyze every little single thing, because there's more self-trust and there's more like self-confidence and self-worth, to the point where, you know what, I know this is what's right, so I can just move forward with it. And new beginnings. The ability, right? What is the Fool? The Fool is a leap of faith. The ability to step into that energy of the beginner, of a novice, of I allow myself to trust, right? That innocence, enthusiasm that comes with the energy of the Fool, of I allow myself to go into these new adventures with confidence. I can do a free fall and I know that the universe has my back. That's powerful. Pile number 3. Especially when you're coming from a place where, if you resonate with this pile, and I think if you make it to this far in, you probably do, where you're coming from a place where things do not feel so easy, things do not feel so clear, and things feel kind of just hard. Let's take a look at what the message from the ancestors is for you, pile number 3. We have earth magic, nature, rituals, and charms. Teach and share, instill, instruct, educate. Answer the call, explore, travel, live. Pile number 3, your ancestors are saying, first and foremost, you're plugged in. And I do think for some of you, you're in a place of learning. And it could be learning through traditional means. It could be learning through like self-study. Whatever it is that you're learning, or learning through experience, whatever it is that you're learning, you are going to be taking those lessons and sharing them with others. And I think that other people are going to be learning from you, and it's also going to benefit your generational line. And your ancestors are encouraging you to step out of your comfort zone. Pile number 3, if you've been wanting to travel, if you've been desiring travel or to expand or maybe to move to a different area, that's going to be quite possible. For this group, candle magic could be very powerful as well. And working with herbs, crystals, anything that connects you to like earth energy, earth magic, very powerful as well. There's travel coming in for this group, and I think there's at least one trip coming in that's going to be very significant. It may not be exactly this year whenever you watch this, but I think within the next 2 to 3 years at most, there's some sort of like move travel that comes in that is going to help you create change and move forward, and that is in alignment with you and with your purpose. Let's take a look at what else we have here. The stars with you can manifest your every wish. Yeah. And sundress, do it for you. That 8 of Cups energy did come up, which is all about self-love. I choose myself. And through choosing myself, I do what's right for me. And that's a very important energy for you. And this is a reminder that you can manifest your every wish. Pile number 3, that is what I have for you. Your affirmation for the week is going to be, I manifest all my wishes and desires with ease. I manifest all my wishes and desires with ease. And pile number 3, claim it in the comment section below. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the things that YouTube loves that help me and the channel out so much. Share the video if you think it's worth sharing. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you today. I hope you have a wonderful week. I am sending so much love, so many blessings, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.